Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Badash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim, out here pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh, Bahashem, Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon all your houses. Amen. All fingers are pointing to America, right? And that's with, the recent events that have happened in the world. One of those events starting going back in February, right, which will be Russia invading Ukraine, right? All fingers are pointing to America, right? As far as the cause, as far as the reason that all these things are happening, right? It says Russia points finger at sole beneficiary of pipeline sabotage, right? And we understand that Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, right, which those major pipelines that go from Russia to the the EU, right, Europe, have ultimately been bombed, right? Which in the news, Germany has stated that the bombing has have been equivalent to 500 kilograms of TNT, right, for each pipeline. The bombing, and that's a lot of explosive material, right? Because you look at how thick and how heavy these pipelines are. Hey, they're no fucking joke. 24 to 25 tons per section of the pipeline, of the pipe, right? And it's huge fucking pipe, man. We're not talking about small type. We're talking about huge pipe, right? Where trillions, if billions, if not trillions, of gallons of oil, get sent through, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, man. And that was ultimately destroyed, right? And one of the ones who are ultimately going to, be hindered the most from it is Russia, as well as the EU, man, right? We're going to get into this, man, because, again, all fingers are pointing to, America. Matter of fact, let's grab this precept real quick, man. Sirach, the 12th chapter, verse 17, right? It says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee, right, man? Right, in America, again, with all these in all these events that are taking place, America is the one that's he's at the center of all these problems, man, right? So let's continue on, right? It says the sabotage of Russia's Nord Stream gas pipelines benefit the U.S., not Russia or the EU. Russia's permanent representative to the UN, Vasily Nebenzia, said on Friday, the main question is whether what happened to Nord Stream is beneficial to the U.S. Absolutely. U.S. suppliers of liquefied natural gas should now celebrate a several-fold increase in LNG supplies to the Europe continent, which LNG is what America is ultimately selling to these countries, right? So America is going to be because these nations they don't need Russia's pipe, right? Or they can't get it now, right? They need it, but they can't get it, and it's the closest gas supplier to them, right? So it would be cheaper, right? It wouldn't cost them and they wouldn't have to wait so long for it to come across the seas to get to them, right? So it was the best option for them. But now, since these pipelines are destroyed, and now they have to look to the U.S., right, in order to get their gasoline, man, right? Which it's stupid because America doesn't even have, they're going into the reserves, man, right? America doesn't have enough gas to be selling to these nations like that. Right, whereas Russia has it, America doesn't, right? So you best believe that, gas prices are going to skyrocket, right? Everything is going to be, because America's not, giving that gas to its American people, right? So here in America, all hell is going to break loose, right? But nonetheless, again, America is still at the forefront of these problems that are going to take place, in America, in Europe, in Russia, right? It says, and from the political point of view, the last thread of ensuring EU independence in the terms of energy has been severed. Nebenzia said at the UN Security Council. He added that while even European production is being hastily transferred to the U.S. amid the energy crisis, Europe's population is now headed towards a very dark, cold, and a long winter, man. And all this is gonna do, because it goes back, man. It goes back, since this whole situation with Russia and Ukraine started, man. Right? America, when this whole bullshit started, which again, America is at the forefront of that. The reason why this war started, right? Because America, went into Ukraine and basically set up this government, right, to ultimately, secede from a Russian power, man. Right? Because Russia, America has, its controlled territories, right? The UK has its controlled territories, right? And Russia has its controlled territories, as well as China has its control. Those are like the four main powers, really the three main powers, which would be America, Russia, and China, right? But we understand that, the UK has, its hold on some places as well, right? So you got the three main powers that are in the world, right? Russia, America, and China. And America has been basically moving on Russia's territory, right? Which is an act of war, right? If you're trying to ultimately take over and push another, power out the way, and that's an act of war, because that makes it to where that power is like, wait, hold on, you ain't just gonna push me out the way, and we're gonna fight back to keep what we have, right? And Russia is not moving on America, so it's not like they're, moving on America as well, while America is moving on them. No, it's Russia is defending itself, defending its territory, but America is the aggressor, so to speak, man. Right? Trying to have NATO, or trying to have Ukraine to now move and be a part of NATO, right? And Russia's not having it. Russia is not having that shit at all, right? So, again, starting with America in this situation. Right now what it is America is trying to, weaken Russia. That's why they put those sanctions on Russia, right? And had the EU put sanctions on Russia as well. Even going back when the sanctions even started, Germany was like, hey, don't put sanctions, on Russia, because that's going to hinder the Europe, right? It's going to hinder the European Union, and so on and so forth, man. And what did America do? America went on with it and pushed and had the sanctions be applied anyways, right? And look, the energy crisis that's going on in Europe is stemming from those sanctions that were put on Russia, right? Because any of these nations, right? Because any of these nations that have sanctions on Russia was claiming them to be what? To be enemy states, man. So they weren't working with them. And they say if you want our gas, and you got to transfer your money into rubles, right? You got to transfer your money into rubles and be able to, and they basically putting them through, jumping through hoops, this and the third, in order to get, gas, right? And they'd have to ultimately, become an ally to them, so to speak, man, right? Just to be able to get some gas, just to be able to, sustain their economy. And even then, they're still going to have to pay out the ass for it, man, because prices went up, right? Price for a barrel of oil, right, of gas went up. He hiked the price on it, man, which hindered them, either way, man, right? But now you have this pipeline. Both these pipelines have been destroyed, which there's literally no other beneficiary to this problem that has just occurred except for America, right? And the EU is pointing that out. You had a diplomatic leader. I can't remember his name or his position, right? I just know he was a diplomatic leader in the UK, basically pointing out the fact he came out on the news saying that the only one that benefits from this shit that happened is America. Everybody knows it, man. Everybody knows that America is the only one that benefits from this. So the only one that would make sense of who caused the problem would be America, man. Would be these devils, man. You know? Because their power is waning, right? So they have to try anything and everything that they can do to stay in power, right? Scriptures say, matter of fact, let me grab it. In Isaiah the 47th chapter, right? That America, America's done for, man. Slakia, man. Isaiah 47:1, right? It says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, right? Which would be America, right? It says, sit on the ground, there was no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Right? America is done for. America's power and influence over the nations is waning, man. Right? It's just not. It's not what it used to be. I mean, America was once called, that golden cup, right, of the Lord's hand. But now, again, that gold is starting to have dross on it, man. That gold is starting to lose value, man. Right? America is ultimately done for, man. And ultimately, this is going to cause, these allies of America to come up against America, man. Let's grab this, because this is what's leading to all these situations that are happening, right? Are leading to, World War III, right? This is Revelations, chapter 17 and verse 16. Right? It says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. And that's going into what? The European Union, man. Right? The EU, all these nations that are allied to America are ultimately going to come up against America and shoot these ICBM nuclear missiles at America, man. Because why would these missiles be created, right, just for show of power? That's bullshit, man. No, all these things, nothing is created just for no reason, right? These things are created for a sole purpose, and according to the Bible, this place is going to be destroyed by those nuclear missiles, man, right? So they're created to destroy this place, right? It says, in the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. And there's many situations that have occurred in the past 2 years, right? And in current events that we're going over right now that are occurring and have occurred, that the EU is justified in coming up against America, justified in hating America and showing animosity towards America because certain events have taken place. America has stepped on the toes of its longest and most trusted ally, France, on multiple different occasions, losing out, or having Russia having France lose out on billions and billions of dollars in deals because America wants to be that one that has all the money, all the power, right? Which shows you the pride of America, man, right? It says, these shall hate the whore, hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Again, going into those nuclear missiles being fired on America, man, right? This is what's going to take place, man. And we see it basically being built up right before our eyes, man, right? Now let's go back to this article, right? It says, it says, is the destruction of the Nord Stream beneficial to European states? Hardly. They would then become dependent on a more expensive and highly unreliable supplier, which is America, right? It says, I am referring to the host country of the UN headquarters, the U.S., leaving aside the Polish, the Czech, and the Baltic politicians who are completely insane with Russophobia. Even with all the anti-Russia hysteria in the EU, experts cannot fail to understand the danger of such a scenario and its consequences for the European economy, the diplomat stressed, right? So this does not benefit America's allies, right? More of a reason for these allies to look at America like, hey, what the hell's going on, man? We're supposed to be your allies and you're shitting on us, man. It says, furthermore, according to him, if we think in terms of common sense, rather than in the spirit of the morbid fantasy that the Russians are willing to do anything to intimidate Europe, right, which is that propaganda that America has been pushing, man, right, going back to the Cold War, right, America had made this, these statements about Russia and Russians how they're just, what is that word? Barbarians, so to speak, man. You know, and you have the world just, because again, America, has been that head, right? So any kind of political move that America makes, as far as dealing with, social media and influence and pushing out a certain vibration about a certain people, the rest of the world takes it on, right? Which in reality, you got Edomites talking shit about other Edomites, which is further proof, right? What is that? Mark the 12 or Matthew's the 12th chapter, 25th verse. 27th verse, we're talking about what? If the kingdom be divided against itself, shall not stand, right? Further proof that America's going down, because you got Edomites going against Edomites, man, right? You got Edomites talking shit about other Edomites. So if you're talking shit about these Edomites, what does it say about yourself, man? Right? Esau dumb as hell, man, But it says Russia would also hardly benefit from jeopardizing its own pipeline, because again, this is Russia's pipeline, which took them billions upon billions upon billions of dollars to ultimately create in order to establish this financial gain, sending oil or sending gas to these other countries, man. Right? It says it makes no sense for us to ruin with our own hands a project in which we have invested an enormous amount of money and from which we could get a substantial economic return. You yourself in the West have said that we make a profit on energy exports and benefit from rising energy prices. The Benzia pointed out, right? So how could, because America immediately after the situation happened had put out an article talking about how, Russia is sabotaging, the pipeline, this, that, and the third, right? Trying to push out the agenda. But hey, we see right through that shit, man, right? Hey, the rest of the world sees right through it, man. The rest of the world sees right through your bullshit, man. America, you're not this great, liar that you once were. The Lord is destroying that, man. Taking that shit away from you, man. Right? Taking your ability, your what is it? That veil that you have put over over everybody. He's taking that veil right off, man. They're seeing you for your true colors, man. Right? Seeing you for who you are, man. Right? And that's all I wanted to get on this article. Y'all can pause the screen and read the rest of it. Actually, you know what? We'll read the rest of it. It's just two more paragraphs, right? It says Danish authorities reported leaks on both the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines on Monday after a local pipeline operator noted a loss of pressure following a series of undersea explosions. The U.S., Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Norway all deemed the incident to have been sabotage. Russian President Vladimir Putin put the blame for the situation on Western nations, saying that the sanctions are not enough for the Anglo-Saxons and that they have now moved to sabotage, right? They understand and know that it was America, right? When America and these other nations are blaming Russia, and Russia does not benefit from destroying their own pipeline, as we read. Right? It says at a news conference on Friday, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken denied that the U.S. or NATO countries have had anything to do with the damage to the Nord Stream pipelines. U.S. President Joe Biden, meanwhile, accused Russia of spreading disinformation with accusations towards the U.S. and urged the global community not to believe that Washington is to blame for the incident. And everybody does blame America for the incident, man, right? Which, again, this situation with the Nord Stream pipelines, being destroyed, which are Russia's, right? Those are Russia's pipelines to claim, right? And then with this situation, right, I want to grab these articles, right? I'll grab this one, and I'll just look at the other one, right? It says Russia's top court rules on Donbass, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia accession treaties, right? So recently we just had, Russia or these four regions, right, in Ukraine, which are already a part of Russia, just had another vote. And I say another vote because back in 2014, these same regions have voted to be a part of Russia, right? And now they're having to have another vote to basically solidify, hey, we want to be a part of Russia, right? Hey, the courts just recently found a legal process for these regions to want to be a part of Russia, right? And I'm going to read this first paragraph. We'll drop down and get the last paragraph, right? It says the treaties on the accession of the Donetsk and the Lugansk People's Republic are as well as Kherson and Zaporizhzhia regions to Russia are in full accordance with the Constitution, the country's top court ruled on Sunday, right? So saying this is a legal process, right? This is something they didn't force nobody to be a part of, or force the vote to be, to lean, in Russia's favor. They didn't force that, man. They say, you know what, go ahead and have a vote. If the vote comes out that they want to be Russia, then guess what? We'll start the process and we'll allow them to be a part of Russia. But if they don't, we'll leave it alone. You can do whatever you want, right? And well, the vote came out in favor of Russia, right? But what is America doing? Look at the very last paragraph. It says Kyiv, along with the Western countries, consider the accession illegal and have vowed not to recognize it. So even though it has come out that it's a legal process, America still does not view it as legal, and it still wants to come up against it, right? And you go back to this other article I had, and I'm not going to read this article, right? It says the U.S. promises to help Ukraine retake the territories, man. Which, again, back in 2014, these territories have also already voted to be a part of Russia. So they're technically still a part of Russia, but they just had another vote to further prove, right, that these territories are Russia's, man. And well, back in 2014, why didn't America come up against Russia and try to take those countries back? Now they want to do it almost 10 years later, man, right? Which is bullshit, man. We understand that America's just a fucking bully, man, right? And they're the ones that are causing all these fucking problems to happen that we see here, which again is just going to further, have, Russia get into this and come up against America, man. Right? So let's grab a couple precepts, man, and we'll get out of here, right? This is Revelations, or it's like this is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 9, right? It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, right? An assembly of great nations, right? From the north country, which the north country is going to be beginning with Russia, right? Russia is that north country, right? As well as with Russia's allies, right? You got Iran, you got Turkey, you got and many others, right? You got North Korea, you got China, right? Russia and China have been entering into some deals, a lot more recently, man. They've been having talks, and they already set up this exchange of oil and so on and so forth, right? To Russia, or to China, from Russia to China, man, right? So they're entering into some deals. They're allies, man, right? Even though they're top powers in the world, they're still allies, right? Both of these countries, going back to the Cold War, right? Russia and China were against America. And now we're seeing it again. This is taking place, right? As well as, again, we read in the first article we brought out that America is stepping on the toes of its own allies. So that's going to be the assembly of great nations, right? It's going to be Russia and its allies with America's allies, or America's former allies, right? In this current time, they're still allies, but we're going to see a lot of those allies start to drop off and come up against America, right? It says, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty excrement. None shall return in vain. Again, talking about those ICBM nuclear missiles, which are being prepared right now, right? You have Russia, they're mass producing the Satan II missile, which is the size of a damn building, man. Which can take out, just one missile can take out all of Texas, man. Right? And they're mass producing it. Texas is the second largest continent, or it's like a second largest city, or it's like a brain is fumble, man. But Texas is the second largest state that's a part of America. Alaska being number one, right, which makes up a whole third of America, right? But Texas is the second largest. Then coming California, right? Where you're talking about one missile can take out the state of Texas. So that means two missiles to take out the state of, or 2 or 3 missiles to take out Alaska, one missile to take out California, one missile to take out Texas. Hey, come on, man. And they're mass producing it. We're talking about numbers in the hundreds, man. Numbers in the thousands. We don't necessarily know exactly how much, right? But this is what they're doing as of right now, man. Mass producing that missile to destroy America, man. Oh, man. America's done for, man. America is fucking done for. If you think America's going to be able to come back from this bullshit, you wrong as hell, man. Right? Now I want to jump down to verse 29, and we'll just end it with these last few precepts, right? It says, call together the archers against Babylon. This is what's happening. We just read it, Jeremiah 50 and verse 9, right? That these nations are basically assembling to come up against America, right? It says, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, right? Camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she had done. So everything that America is causing, everything that America has its hand in, it's going to get recompensed. There's a recompense coming to America, right? And it goes just past these situations, right? It goes all the way to, Esau, Edom touching the apple of the Lord's eye. This place being, the place of wickedness, being the nation of sin, right? The abominable nation, right? That talks about in Amos, the ninth chapter, the 8th verse, right? The sinful kingdom, right? There's many different reasons why this place is going to get destroyed, but this is one of them, right? For all the things that America has done to these nations, right? Especially its allies, man, right? It says, recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she hath been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. Therefore, what does the scripture say? Proverbs 16 and 18, pride goeth before destruction, man. Hey, so America, being the most prideful of the Edomites, right, the most prideful nation, is going to be destroyed. And it's going to be a great destruction, the greatest destruction to ever take place, right? It says, therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith the Lord. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. For thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee. It says, and the most proud shall be stubble and fall, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. That's right, man. Hey, so America's got something coming, man. It's nothing but nuclear fire for all the things that America has done, man. This is prophecy, man. It's a prophecy that we can't wait for. We can't wait for America to be destroyed, man. Esau, Edom to be taken out of power, man. Right? This is right around the corner. We see it today, man. Right? Habakkuk 2 and 3. The vision is yet for an appointed time. Right? And we're in that time. Right? So, hey, stay on your toes, man. Keep the faith. Keep watching. Right? Hey, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim and her pushing this gospel of truth and sincerity to the best of their ability given to them by Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. Peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Lord, will live upon their houses. Until next time, I want to say shalom.